Drummer Without Arms, the inspiring story of Cornel Hrisca-Munn and his journey to Britain's Got Talent, birth and early life. Cornel Hrisca-Munn was born in 1991 in Romania, without both arms and with a severely deformed right leg. Doctors predicted he would not survive more than a few days. His biological mother, overwhelmed and unable to care for him, left him in a state orphanage. There, baby Cornel was placed in an overcrowded ward, effectively abandoned by the system. But Cornel's fighting spirit defied all odds. He survived. At just a few months old, a miracle happened. British charity workers Doreen and Ken Munn discovered him during a humanitarian mission and brought him to England for urgent medical care. His deformed leg was amputated and a prosthetic was fitted. At the age of 1.5, the Munn family adopted Cornel, giving him a loving home in Worcester, England. From early on, Cornel was surrounded by love and encouragement. His adoptive parents raised him with warmth and the belief that nothing was impossible. "I'm endlessly grateful to my parents. They never told me I couldn't. They just let me try," Cornel later said. As a child, he learned to do everyday tasks using his prosthetic leg and arm stumps: writing, eating, swimming, even riding a bike. His determination didn't go unnoticed. At just 11 years old, Cornel received a Child of Courage Award at the Pride of Britain ceremony. It was the world's first glimpse into a story that would go on to inspire thousands. Discovering music. At the age of 11, Cornel found a passion that would change his life: music. When he started secondary school in 2003, he expressed a desire to learn a musical instrument. "I did some research and realized that drums were probably the only instrument I could physically play," Cornel recalled. He started drumming lessons at school and quickly fell in love with rhythm. Although he had no previous musical experience, his natural feel for tempo and timing was remarkable. Cornel learned to play using custom techniques, attaching drumsticks to his residual limbs with straps or specially designed holders. He also trained his left leg to control the bass drum pedal. It wasn't easy, but Cornel's drive was unstoppable. His teachers were stunned at how quickly he progressed. Soon he was outgrowing the lessons and teaching himself. Cornel would often stay after school to practice in the music room, immersing himself in beats and grooves. By 13, he had even taught himself to play the bass guitar, another instrument few believed he could handle. "I never thought I couldn't. I just tried until I could," he said. That attitude became his secret weapon. Rising talent. Cornel's hard work soon bore fruit. In 2005, at just 14, he entered a national drumming competition with over 400 contestants and placed second. A year later, he was selected as one of the top 12 young drummers in the UK's prestigious Young Drummer of the Year finals. But Cornel wasn't just drumming for himself. He wanted to share his passion. He began posting drum covers on YouTube, one of which, a cover of Foo Fighters' Everlong, went viral and racked up over 1 million views. Media outlets like MTV and CNN picked up his story, and musicians around the world took notice. Legendary drummers such as Nick Mason, Pink Floyd, and Chad Smith, Red Hot Chili Peppers, praised his talent online.
Despite his growing fame, Cornel stayed grounded. He continued studying hard, eventually earning a philosophy and theology degree from Oxford University. Outside music, he became involved in charity work, taking part in cycling events and swimming challenges to raise funds for disabled children. But a part of him still yearned for a bigger stage, a chance to share his rhythm and story with the world. The big stage, Britain's Got Talent. In 2025, at 33 years old, Cornel decided it was time. Married and a father of 2, working in finance by day, he auditioned for the world-famous show, Britain's Got Talent. Performing solo without any family in the audience, he said backstage, "I'm here on my own tonight, but I've got my wife and son cheering for me at home." This was the biggest audience he'd ever played for. Wearing a colorful outfit and seated at his custom drum kit, Cornel exuded calm confidence. The lights dimmed. The first notes of "Let Me Entertain You" by Robbie Williams blasted through the arena. Then, boom, Cornel's drumsticks exploded into motion. Strapped securely to his arms, the sticks danced at lightning speed. With tight fills, crisp cymbal crashes, and perfectly timed kicks, Cornel owned the stage. The crowd immediately started clapping along. Cornel closed his eyes and immersed himself in the groove. Then came a change. The music shifted to the upbeat funk of earth, wind, and fire. His drumming intensified, more complex, more passionate. The judges were visibly stunned. Amanda Holden was grinning from ear to ear. Alicia Dixon swayed to the beat, and even Simon Cowell, known for his brutal honesty, looked awestruck. The final crash landed like a firework. Silence. Then, a roar of applause. The audience leapt to their feet in a standing ovation. Reactions and aftermath. Backstage, hosts Ant and Dec cheered, jumping with joy. On stage, all four judges gave Cornel a resounding yes. Even Simon Cowell called him inspirational. Cornel struggled to hold back tears as he soaked in the moment. His dream, to move people with music, was coming true. When asked how he managed to achieve so much in spite of everything, Cornel simply said, "No one ever told me I couldn't. I always tried before they had the chance." He credited his adoptive parents. "My parents never held me back. They let me try everything." That fearless attitude carried Cornel from a metal crib in a Romanian orphanage to the bright lights of one of Britain's biggest stages. His performance wasn't just impressive, it was a moment of triumph, proving that the human spirit can overcome anything. Cornel Hrisca-Munn's story is not just about drums or even talent. It's about resilience, courage, and the power of believing in yourself when no one else dares to. And when the final drum beat faded, the world stood still and stood up.